Next question. How do I define progress of a society? Each and every individual is able to enjoy his or her rights, human rights, without any oppression of any sorts. That to me would be the definition of a progressive society.
I would say that the progress of a society is based on the steps that society takes to better the lives of the citizens living in it. Personally, I feel as though a society is only as strong as its weakest or poorest citizens. So if a society can allow the opportunity for someone to live in a $50 million house, it's almost pointless if in that same society someone is living homeless. I feel like every single person needs to be valued, and until you look at the person who is the lowest in that society and they're living a dignified life, then the rest of it doesn't really matter.
One of the factors of the state would be the well-being of a citizen.
How do you define the progress of a society?
The progress of a society, I guess, is when a person works and enjoy his work. He can provide all the necessary to his family.
The technology of nowadays facilitates our activities, and I think that the progress of our society is an upward step of development.
Progress in society, well, to some extent it could be measured by the amount of people in this world who live a better life than they used to. And I say world because, of course, there is an unequal development in this world, and that's well documented. So progress in a society would be if more people in your society are able to live at a certain standard of living that they weren't able to before. But it globally would be that we be able to establish a very basic and universal level of existence, one where people are not living hand to mouth, suffering, starving, and so forth. That would be progress.
I think one of the important things to describe progress of society is the ability of people foreign to it to live in it and fit in. It reflects open-mindedness, and it reflects diversity and equality and so on. The other definition is how much of the potential of the society is directed toward innovation, research, and development of science.
Now, what are the most important issues in regards to sustainability? Finding a universally accepted understanding of the sustainability issue itself and what are the various implications that come with it. Derive a global or universal agenda that will incorporate the consideration of all the global stakeholders from every corner of the world. The unequal distribution of global resources, everlasting issue of poverty.
What are the most urgent issues in regards to sustainability? I guess the issue that I experience the most, living in this country, is the food crisis and the lack of a sustainable agriculture. I would say that right now, in order for us to have food that nourishes us and doesn't give us health problems and destroy the environment as well, there needs to be a push away from industrial agriculture to more sustainable means of production.
I stated before as well, is the right distribution of resources around the world, and For example, what I mean by that is how hungry people are in Africa, for example, because they don't have what to eat, and how much food there is in other parts of the world where people just throw it away because they have so many resources available. Not only food, but also financial resources.
Exhaustible resource protection, and also the water supply, I think.
Urgent issues regarding sustainability is surely related to population boom and the inability to deal with that on so many levels: economic, socially, practical speaking, in terms of all these urban centers we're creating in this world, and the move still by so many millions of people from small towns and villages to urban centers, expecting a better life and oftentimes not getting it, actually. I would say an urgent issue is re-examining the idea that we all need to live in these urban centers and that the countryside is just abandoned and left behind. I think this is a great mistake in our world, and I wonder if in the future we couldn't alleviate that. Maybe there'll be a renaissance where we go back to not everybody has to live in cities and you play an important role if you don't, in fact. I think that population is a major issue in regards to sustainability, but also the amount of resources that we use, and the acceptance of that, the acceptance of leaving the lights on or packaging things with way too much packaging, the acceptance that it takes this much fuel to get you a box of something.
First of all, the malnutritions in many countries of Africa and Asia. These are one of the biggest problems in this world. Continuous wars, so in many regions, the lack of education, of a good educational system in many countries.
Create a manufacturing cycle where it doesn't result of waste, whether in the product itself or in the process itself. So if we become able to manufacture a car, for example, without wasting any water, and with the car itself being able to be fully recycled.
The limited on equal access to opportunities. These are some of the key issues related to sustainability.